everyone, welcome to the video, and today we are going to be going over the defence of intoxication. Content from today's video can come up in section B of the first paper, so the crime section, and it could be an evaluation question or a problem question. Today I will be going through the problem question aspects and I will do the evaluation in another video. So this content that we're going over is from the OCR exam board. I'm a second year OCR student and I'm doing law at a degree level in September. So there are three different types of intoxication that we are going to cover today: voluntary, involuntary and an intoxicated mistake. So let's begin with the video. So intoxication covers anything you can be intoxicated by. So that can be alcohol, drugs, other substances such as sniffing glue, for example. And the basis sort of lies on that the defendant was so intoxicated that they could not form the mens rea for the crime. And whether they are found guilty depends on two factors. One, whether their intoxication was voluntary or involuntary. And two, whether the offence was a specific intent or a basic intent. It can be a complete defence, a partial defence, or no defence at all. So that depends on the circumstances, which we will be going through later. So a specific intent offence is where the intention is required. So that could be something like murder, Section 18 Offence Against the Person Act, or theft, for example. And a basic intent offence is where the mens rea of recklessness is acceptable, so manslaughter or Section 20 Offence Against the Persons Act. So we will begin with voluntary intoxication. So for the defence of voluntary intoxication, this can be defined as the defendant choosing to take the intoxicating substance and they knew the effect of it. However, a non-dangerous drug may count depending on the defendant's knowledge of the quantity or the circumstances it was taken in. So, for example, if you took a medication that you couldn't have while drinking alcohol, they'd know that. And a case for this is RV Coley. And this was where the defendant took cannabis so they could not rely on the defence of insanity. So for a specific intent offence, you should use the test from RV Sheehan and Moore. And this is very, very simple, and it's one question. Did the defendant have the mens rea at the time of the offence? If they did have the mens rea, so they intended to do it, they have no defence. But if they did not have the mens rea, it is a partial defence and they are convicted of a lesser basic intent offence. And as well as this test, RV Sheehan and Moore gave us the case principle that drunk intent is still an intent. So as well as only charging for one specific offence, a specific and basic intent offence can be charged at the same time. And a case for this would be RV Lippman, where murder was charged down to manslaughter. So as I said in Sheehan and Moore, drunk intent is still an intent. If you'd like to use a different case for that, you could use Attorney General v Gallagher. And that's the same principle, drunk intent is still an intent. So a basic intent offence is a little bit different to a specific intent offence, and a good case for this is DPP v Majewski. And this sets out how a basic intent offence links to voluntary intoxication. And it was decided in this case that there could be no defence of voluntary intoxication for a basic intent offence. And this is because becoming intoxicated voluntarily is reckless in itself, so that fulfills the mens rea of recklessness. But there's also the case of RV Allen. If the defendant did not realise the strength of the intoxicant, it is not involuntary. They still decided to become intoxicated. The intoxicant was just a little bit stronger than they expected it to be. and that is the case of R.V. Allen, so I'd referenced that in my question. So the defence of involuntary intoxication can be covered in a number of situations, such as an unexpected side effect, which is the case of R.V. Bailey, a sedative drug with the opposite effect, which is R.V. Hardy, or being spiked, which is R.V. Kingston. And the test for this comes from the case of R.V. Kingston, and it's the same as Sheehan and Moore, just for involuntary with different outcomes. So, did the defendant have the mens rea at the time of the offence? If yes, there is no defence, and if they did not have the mens rea, they have a complete acquittal. They are not charged with anything. And that pretty much sums up involuntary intoxication. It's a lot smaller than voluntary for sure, but still just as important for a problem question. So an intoxicated mistake is defined as the defendant was mistaken about a key fact because they were intoxicated. And whether this defence is accessible to them depends on what the mistake was about. So if it was a specific intent offence, the mistake must be about something, which means the defendant could not have the necessary mens rea. And if it was a basic intent offence, there is no defence. If the mistake is about another aspect, such as the amount of force being used for self-defence, there is no defence for the defendant. That applies to both specific and basic intent offences. And that was decided in R.V. O'Grady and confirmed in R.V. Hatton. So Section 76 of the Criminal Justice and Immigration Act 2008 says that reasonable force can be used for self-defence. However, subsection 5 of Section 76 states that you cannot rely on a mistaken belief attributable to voluntary intoxication. So that means being intoxicated at the time, after, before, due to the short-term effects that you can have, or the defendant can have, from the intoxicant. And that was stated in Taj. This defence does not extend to mental illnesses caused by misuse of an intoxicant. So there you go, that is the defence of intoxication crushed down to a tiny short video. Hopefully that all makes sense. I've simplified it down, I've included cases as best as I can, and as I said before, this is from OCR's exam board. I am a student myself, so I make these videos to sort of help me revise and hopefully help you guys revise. So thank you for watching the video, I hope this helped, and I will see you next time.